Okay. welcome, welcome guys. I hope you're having a super great day. I thought just make a little update. I haven't been able to do a lot of YouTube this year, so yeah, I want to talk about today is about solo play, playing how to build like a base that might not be how to make it's impossible to make a base that is indestructible, of course, but the way I build my base is as a solo player I just end up playing all the way through until the end of the cycle. There will be raid attempts after it. There will be like raid attempts, and but usually my base survives those. That means that they will get through a couple of doors and then realize that my base is not as easy as they were thinking it was. One of the tricks I do with that, and as a solo, I mean, you don't have the resources to build huge bases with all these defenses, online defense and all this stuff, you know. So you have to do some trickery, and I will show you how I do it. And I've been playing this game for a long time, and what they did at some point, they always had like different tiers of walls, and what they did, because people were making huge bases, they put a system of upkeep in it where you have to pay upkeep. And then another thing what they did, I mean, the different tiers of walls, they had different strengths, and basically what they did, they upgraded that strength, so every tier was like double the other tiers. And then the doors are pretty weak. Like the strongest door you can have is an armored door, which is equivalent to like a stone wall. And then you have like a stone wall is like 2c4, metal is like double that, and armored is double that. So if you would like have 3c4, you could go through here. 4c4, you could go through here, and etc. Now, what you see here is an armored wall. So this will take 8c4. That's like 90 nodes. Now you know what a node is. That's one of this. This is a stone node. So you need like 90 sulfur nodes. Now finding one of those nodes, chopping it up, bringing it back without dying, it's a lot of work. So 90 of those will take you at least a whole day of work. Probably like a couple of days of gathering those nodes. So are you gonna raid this little base? Would you go through this walls of mine, this small little itty-bitty base? Would you go through this wall, which would take you like several days of collecting those nodes? Well, the answer most of the time is no. I'm not saying this will never happen. There can be huge clans that have absolutely nothing to do. They have raided every other single base in the field, and yours is the last one standing, which it usually is with mine. And then they might decide, well, okay, we have nothing else to do, let's just raid this base, you know, because why not? We have the resources. So the trick about this base, I have some trickery here, like if I walk on this, the door will open. If they kill me, boom, the door will automatically close. There's not even electricity on this pad. It will go straight to the door controller, and it will open and close when I step on it. I have an out turret. Obviously, you can like do something outside where it will open it, you stand in front of it. Yeah. That's tricky because then they can shoot rockets inside. Oh yeah, so. Okay, so this is the trick really. Like this area, the area that you see here. Let me show you what I have. You see this area, it has like metal on the outside. And basically there's 4 boxes. Now, this is actually not great, this is a bit of a mistake, because if they go through this door, they can rocket out. When these doors are closed, they can shoot rockets in this corner and open both doors. So There actually should have been like one extra square to the back with this. It would have been better. But this is what it is. Now this is the main trick. You see here there is no door. And normally, like if you go to the front door, it's weak, pretty weak. It's weaker than like these garage doors. Garage doors like a stone wall. So it's like less than a stone wall, a stone wall, a stone wall, and then normally not a stone wall, because all you can put here is a garage door or like an armor door, which is pretty much the same as a stone wall. Now what I could have done, make this metal and then put a garage door here. Now it would have been like metal through a metal, which is like 2 garage doors and then 1 garage. So like this will be 3, this will be 3, it would be the same thing. But now what happens if you either go through this wall or through the doors? Actually I want them to go to the wall, because then they will see this is armored, and they'll probably stop the raid. They probably won't get into this room or this section, and so it will save me some stuff. Now I don't have the best stuff in here. What I have in here is everything that I'm willing to lose at the moment. That's stuff that I just gathered, stuff that I don't really, I mean, who cares about a box of stone, right? So maybe a bit of much of metal. I could put a bit more metal in the other location. Now I have the height wall. I will gather stuff here, and then when it becomes a bit too much, I will just grab it and then put it away. Yeah, I have too much metal right now. I did a bit of metal yesterday. So just putting that away here. Anyway, so I'll put it in here in the back. Now, of course, because this block is made of high quality, it's about 150 high quality, a bit less, to build a block like this, and it's about like 18 or 19 high quality to do upkeep. If you keep your base really small, it will be 17 high quality. This base is probably about 18, and then I have another base, it's a bit bigger, it's like 19 or something a day. Now here you can take stuff out, so you can put stuff in, take stuff out. I have a sleeping bag inside, a few boxes, a TC. Now this is double. This is a loot room, like for the best loot, and it's also the TC, because if they have the TC, then you lose your base. And that's the main reason I just, as a solo player, I don't want to start rebuilding a base every time I log in, because as a solo player that will take forever, and then I'm just building bases. I never have guns or equipment to actually do the fun stuff. So this is all about being efficient. Now I know that having to kill yourself and go inside, and then here, let me do it for a second. Some stuff here. It's always good to have a few boxes empty where you can just drop your stuff quickly. I'm not being efficient right now, but it doesn't matter. I will find my stuff later on. Okay, so now I'm gonna kill myself. Actually, let me show you my other base, and then I will go in there to get that base. This was my secondary base. I built this one because of the monument that's in the back here. Because this monument, I'm not used to this monument. I wanted to see how it was to work on this monument, and with also the scientists there, fighting them, and just getting more good loot boxes of there. Yeah, you saw me in the beginning of the video on top of those things there. I don't think they were shooting at me. Normally they shoot at me. Or maybe they were, I don't even remember, but I was talking. So this was actually the monument that I was looking at when I built my first base. It's a very easy, like, starter monument. There are some like military crates here to get the good stuff, and also a recycler. Now, oh yeah, there's one here. So I can use the recycler. Now there's a risk I get killed and lose my stuff, but it's usually pretty small. And like you see, like I just recycled real quick one item. Usually it's low risk, a reasonable reward. So, and this is also my base. I'm gonna talk about that base there on the other side. What they did actually, I had like Dropbox here. They tried to raid me, and then I'm like, hey, where's my Dropbox? And then I looked and I saw there was a lot of damage on this wall. So I went inside. Yeah, so this is the front of my base. So I had like an auto turret here, but when I got raided, they destroyed it. So you can see here I have these covers, metal covers, because here this metal, this and this, the rooms beneath here, there are like there's one secret loot room. Now if they shoot rockets, they can shoot the whole ceiling out in one go with rockets. If they would go on this center, they could shoot these 4 squares, or if they would shoot in the center here, they could even hit like all 6 squares. And just they can loot the whole base just with like one rocket attack. I have a little working here. Just got it. So now I had a turret here, but as I see there was like a raid. I took out the workbench and moved it. There was a turret here earlier. And, so they raided me. They went through this door. The other doors weren't there. This door, and this door. And then I found out, boom, I had an armored wall with draw boxes. And then even they picked through this wall. This was actually all stone. It was just a hidden compartment where I had like my battery. Now I'm using it for other stuff too. So that was how I got raided. I had like, you see, I have pretty crappy stuff in my boxes. And maybe, well, here's a bit better stuff, but I usually, like, I will show you how much I have in my okay, I will go into this loot room. So this is my first base loot room. Okay, if I press K, I will die, and then I can go into my loot room. So I have one base here. It has a bed and a TC, and I have one base here. It has a secret loot room, a bed, and a TC. I can show you the secret loot room later. I will go to the TC. Now this base is a bit bigger than the other one, so you can see it's upgradable. I always start with 3 squares. 3 squares, that's what you need. 1 square is the TC, that's this one. Yeah, you see, there's a lot of metal gone out. Probably should put some more metal in here. A bit too much gunpowder. What happened when they tried to raid my secret loot room, I took everything, all the good stuff out of my secret loot room and put it in here. So all the good stuff is in my TC room, which is not, I know it's the strongest part in my base, but I don't want everything in one room. But this is actually when they ended up raiding that. Later on they raided that secret loot room, and all I had was like 1 box of stone in there, and so that was so I was really happy. I moved everything here, and it is the strongest place in my base. But if they go through here, then I mean you could still have some value of your base if they don't. You can probably, if you're lucky, you can still recover your base. And like the secret loot room, I could have taken stuff out of there. So because normally you still have your doors and you still have your loot boxes and stuff. So drop boxes. So you see, I have a lot of high qual. Actually, way more than I need. But because I don't build AKs a lot and stuff, but I could do if I want to. I probably could use this high qual. But you see, it's 20 high qual a day. I have enough for 3 days just because the metal is a bit low. Probably have to fix that soon. Yeah, just a little bit of stuff for like putting up a wall quick if they raid this. Way too much gunpowder. As a solo, I don't get around like raiding at my own. It's really, as soon as you blow a wall, you attract attention, and you have like a whole group of people, and you cannot really defend yourself. So I'm not much of a raider when I'm alone. Sometimes I have friends, and then we'll do some raiding. Yeah, like a garage door. It's good to have some stuff in your loot room, so when you get raided, you can just put on a door quick, or rebuild quick. Make sure you always have wood, stone, metal, some doors, you know, just so you can rebuild quick. So this is my loot room. So I have a sleeping bag here. It's called TC. Small boxes, big box. Maybe you can fit 2 big boxes, or maybe 2 sleeping bags in here if you're with a friend, or you could even fit more sleeping bags if you're a group, but then you have less storage. You can put drop boxes all around for more storage. So there's something. I mean, it's not that you can even fit like you can do all kinds of stuff in a room like this, but I wanted a bit like spacious like this. And I mean, I have more enough stuff to put some good stuff in here, you know, more than enough space to put the good stuff in. And you don't want everything in here because you want some stuff at hand just to play the game, so you don't have to kill yourself and use these boxes. Yeah, and if I want something, I just put it back into the where I need it, and then I can play the game. And even if the whole area was raided, I could just like keep playing like nothing happened, you know. So I kill myself. There are some timers on that where it's like 30 seconds, so you cannot just kill yourself at once. So if you have to be a bit patient with that. You see, my secret loot room is all was triggered when I used my TC here, but I have a bed, so I can still just keep playing. But I cannot go in this secret loot room right now. I can show you the other TC. Now this is a bit more simple. You see, I don't even have like a big box. It's a bit messy. So here, just some stuff to keep the TC going. And you can just use this as just a TC room. You don't actually need to do anything else. As you see, I have put some stuff in here. Yeah, don't have a lot of space here. I don't have a lot of space. I probably have to put a big box in here soon. Well, that I can do later. Yeah, but you see, you can put all your good stuff in here for when you need it. And as a solo, you can see I have way more than I need that I'm actually using. But the thing is that if I don't do this, if I don't use these boxes, then you know what will happen. If you just use doors alone, you will just get, you will build a base, and 1 or 2 days, boom, your base is raided. You have to build a base again, etc., etc. So as a solo player, or I think anybody actually, but I know when you're in a big group and a lot of people want to have access to the TC and all this stuff, and they all want to have access to the good stuff, and then yeah, I mean, like I said, you could fit like 3 bags in there, so it's not a big deal. You can fit 3 bags. You probably should use these things. Anyway, but yeah. And I'm a very like passive player because I do play usually solo or duo. It's hard for me to win gunfights as a solo player, especially when you're like with a whole group. So I'd rather just go out with like a spare. Now these are the guys that raided me. I'm pretty sure of it, because after they raided me with the box of stone, they suddenly had like a lot of. Now they upgraded to armored, which is, I think this has to cost them lots of high quality every day. Now maybe because they have been raiding, maybe they got high quality from people's. Let me see. I should put one of these things. Oh, this is finished, right? Yeah. Okay, so wow, armored on one side, metal on one side. Okay, I mean they look. I don't know if they're really that good, because this is pretty wasteful when with armored. Now maybe they're taking out helicopters. I hope they're doing that, because that's the only reason to like make your top up armored like that. So I assume they're taking out choppers. I haven't seen them doing that, but if they if they don't do that, then this is really stupid. Because you don't need that much armor. Like I said, like um, even going through like one armored wall is like 8c4. And now with a big base like that, they probably want to put more effort into it and maybe do the investment. This base may be already a bit too big. It may be too juicy. They might get tempted to think, hey, I'm gonna go through this armored wall. But because this is not very common, people don't like killing themselves going in and out of these drop boxes or these loot rooms. The people don't expect it that much. They will think that, oh, we'll go through this stone wall, and then we'll go through that bubbly door here, and then there's a door here. So it's like, oh, it's like 2c4 and then 2c4 and then 6c4 to raid this base, right? So if this is 6c4 to raid this base, why would they use 8c4 to go through this one? So now I probably should like make another metal honeycomb around this to upgrade. Then it would be more like 12c4, but probably should do that. But I don't know. I just made another base at the other location because like once I raid this little place here, either I have to walk all the way there, which is not that far, or go down the roads, which is there's not much at the roads. So I just made another little base down there. I mean, the thing, these bases are really super efficient with your time, with your resources. Like getting 150 high qual is not that hard, you know. If you play, I mean, you can just start it as completely stone with a stone wall with a drop box, then upgrade to metal, then it's already completely metal, it's already 4c4, and then just keep collecting, playing until you have like 150 high qual, upgrade it completely to high qual, or do it partially, but yeah, whatever you like. And then upgrade to high qual, and then make sure there's enough high qual to keep the base going for a couple of days, and then basically you have the nearly invincible base. Now, is it invincible? No. If people have HC4, they will raid it, but people who have HC4, when they look at this base, they think, oh, solo locks, wooden entry, not even the door in here. No, it looks a bit cheap. I mean, there's a lot of stone. There's not even upgrade to metal. It looks like I only have metal for this area. If I don't have enough metal for the other areas, I look poor. I only had yeah, I upgraded this to high qual, but maybe they're smart. They know that, oh well, there could be there could be strong wall in here, so they think, well, this is too much work. Or they don't know, they just think, oh look, we go through a couple of doors. They were like, hey look, there's how many doors? There's a door here, and then a door here, and then a door here, like 3, 1, 2, 3, like 4 doors. And then yeah, they probably try to go through the doors, you know. So or they in this case they probably say, hey, this is like a door here, and this is a wall here, so we'll go through the wall and then through the door, and then they will find out that there is an armored wall there. Anyway, I think you can get the picture. So this, certainly if you're like a new player, try this out, give it a try. If you're an experienced player and you're going to play solo, or you start out solo, you can do this as a starter base. Why not? If you have big plans, why not do this as a starter base? Even as a group, you can put like 3 bags in here, and then share the TC. Yeah, you can. There's always all kinds of things that you can do with this, and but I would certainly advise this to a lot of new players, because I mean, like, if you look around here, you don't see any bases. I've been playing for like a week or something, and there were so many bases that have been here. You know, all these small bases. There used to be bases all over the place, and the fact that my 2 bases are the ones that are actually standing, and that other armored base there, that means that pretty much those guys with that armored base there, they raided every other single base except mine. Well, my base was like, there were 2 raid attempts, no, 3 raid attempts. One, they went through my doors. 3, they tried to go through metal wall, and I repaired it. Then I took all the loot out that area. And 3, they did go and went into that area, and all there was like a box of stone and some leftover less important stuff. So yeah, there were actually 3 raid attempts at that base, probably by them. At least 2 of them are by them, I think. And yeah, so there are very few bases standing. All the smaller bases are gone. So if you only have the resources for a smaller base, then consider building. Just start with this. You can do it in stone, turn it into metal, and then in high qual, and it will be much stronger than having a door here, because a door can never be stronger as like a stone wall. And going through a stone wall is pretty much the basic requirements in this game to even play the game. So it's not hard to go through one stone wall, one metal door, which or like armor door. But like this wall is like the same as four of those armor doors. This is the same as 4 armor doors, or I think like 8 sheet metal doors. So even those guys there, let's say they don't have an unlocked armor doors, and they're not using armor doors, they could have like 8 sheet metal doors to their loot room, to their TC. Maybe they only have 8 sheet metal doors, and they have this base with all the armor, with all the blah 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 blah. They could have the same protection, the same strength as my bases, as each of my bases, you know. So probably combined, trying to raid both of my bases will cost you more than trying to raid this base. Now, do I see armored doors? Maybe they look a bit like armored doors. Okay, so if they're using like 4 or 5 armor doors, this big base has the same protection as like my 2 small little bases as a solo player together, you know. So it will, then if you have the armor doors, it will take you about as much to raid this base, or even less than to raid both of my bases. And if you're like unlucky, you go through my doors and then try to go to the armored walls, it will definitely cost you more. So yeah, you see the powerful of this kind of design that I have compared to like this design, because I mean this must look lots more impressive, but doesn't really mean it is much better. Actually, it could be weaker than or the same as my design. And definitely my design cost me less, and now I could have used all my high qual and built some monstrosity. If I used all my stone, metal and high qual, I could have built the same thing as them. But with having an armored core like me, I would have like double their protection, double or triple the protection that they have with just using doors. Assuming they just use doors. Maybe they even use my system, I don't know. but I've seen like big bases like that use a system like I do. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? In that case, then yeah, they're doing a good job. I mean, then they have a really strong base. And it will take a lot of C4, a lot of like resources to raid them. And but the idea about my base is that it's result and the effort you put into it and the results you get out of it. Like I said, like going through, this is like 2 or 3 days of gathering resources, going through one of my walls, and with all the stuff, like, who knows if all my stuff is in here? Maybe my stuff is in here. Maybe my stuff is not in here, but it is in there. You know, so I have all this. There's a lot of risk involved if they don't hit the right spot. Like they went through this wall, and they looted me, and all they got was a box of stone. And I didn't lose any of my. I put all my good weapons, my gunpowder, all my metal, all the good stuff that I had, all my high quality, everything went. I put that in my main loot room. And yeah, they wasted like 4 C4 on going through that wall, and it was also the second attempt, so even more. No, I could just go on about this design. Might not look impressive. It's not meant to look impressive. Actually, I try to be as less unimpressive as possible because I don't want to attract attention, like my neighbors there. Like if you compare my stuff, this loot room of mine and my base, to like the base of my neighbor's base, which would you invest in? Which would you like? Which one would you like? Say, oh, which one has the most loot? And if you like a big clan and you have the C4 and the stuff and the rockets to raid one of these bases, you would probably skip my base and go for this one, because the return of your investment is going to be it's going to be low on my base, and that's on purpose. Like, even I mean, I do have like a lot of gunpowder in my PC right now. That's true, but normally I don't even want it all in one spot, because then I'm giving them return on investment, you know. But I mean, it's a huge risk and a huge challenge. Like, I would rather go through like some metal doors and some armored doors, and that would be a much better investment. Because this looks like a base that is of a clan with a lot of high qual, rich clan. You know what I mean? So it's all about minimalism, you know. And I might give my armored loot room a little bit of a metal. I could give them one metal. Like a metal honeycomb. But the thing is, like, even if I put like metal here and metal here, the fact that there is they can go through a door here, it really doesn't really give much more protection than it already has. My base will just look more juicy and more like it's of a clan, like there's more good stuff in it. So I just want to keep it as it is, make it look a bit like somebody who is poor, and then like I built my second base. So even if they raid one of my bases, yeah, I can just keep on playing. Nothing has really changed. You know, both of these bases are of the same level. So my what I want out of this game, just to like have some, just to relax and roam a little bit and have some adventure. I can do that without having to need to rebuild and restart the game every time. I can just my crafting, like I'm learning new stuff all the time, and in the past on this server, what we learned would stay for like a long time. So it's good investment on this server because they don't always reset your crafting, and so that's another reason why it's important to have my base and get back all the stuff that I need to learn as a solo player. It's a lot of work. So I mean, I still don't have an AK. I mean, I have a rocket launcher. I can do some basic raiding and stuff. I don't even have like a level 3. I should like focus. I think I have enough to build level 3, so that should be my next focus. And yeah, and I know it looks scruffy, but it's all on purpose, you know. It's all on purpose, and like because I have 2 bases, it's just like it's double the strength, double the. It's better to have to divide your resources over 2 bases, if then have like try to create one super base, you know. I mean, these already are super bases for the way they are built, the way what they do. They might not look like super bases, but effectively, if you can build like 4 of these, you know, and depending on how much, like if you have a clan, you can just build one for each person in your clan. They can have their own little clan base, or their own little personal base, and then they all would have like this HC4 loot room. So if you have a 5-man clan, it's 8 times 5. You know, it's like 40 C4 to get rid of you guys. And so I mean, what kind of base needs 40 C4? You know. So yeah, that's what I would do. But then I would have to train everyone in my clan how to build these bases and use them, and get over the fact that they probably don't like the idea of like have to kill them themselves, go into a loot room, and then they think it's a lot of work. It's not. Like I said, you only have to do it maybe 2 or 3 times. You do it probably. You only do it like you don't even. But when you start, you have your. If you're not being raided, if you haven't lost your doors, you can just keep playing. You have all your weapons and all your stuff that you need. Now, I can understand that if you have really good stuff like AKs and stuff, maybe you want to keep it in your loot room. So when you start to play, you just go into your loot room, take out your AKs and all the good stuff that you need for that day, for that moment. You start playing the game with your good stuff. You can just keep it in your base. You don't need to keep it. You can just take all the stuff that you need for the day, put it in your base. I mean, you probably still. I need to put like I have like a windmill. I have to put it on top here, like the other base, because now I'm using only one solar panel, which is it's not enough for the whole night. So but yeah, just keep the stuff in your base. You can use normal like this, like a loot room like this, where it's like metal on the outside, and then it's pretty okay for when you're playing the game. Gather resources like this, burn it, do everything you need, and then when you go offline, just go to your boxes once and take out all the good stuff, you know, like I did earlier, and then go to your PC and put everything in there that you think is valuable. Now I have only 2 loot boxes here. You can have like 4 of them on one wall, so you can do that. You can even have this be part of like a bigger room, like this is really solo, you can have like a whole area, so you can have two sides exposed, so you can have like 8 loot boxes available, like uh, 2 or 3 to get put stuff in, like 4 or 5 to get stuff out, just whatever you think is easiest. And then so it's really, you only have to go in and out maybe 2 or 3 times during your game time. And yeah, it can be very easy to do it right. It doesn't need to be as inefficient as it sounds like. Yeah, just be efficient with your time, be smart about how you do it, it's really fun. And as you do it, you will get better at it. Also, you'll be less messy. Yeah. Anyway, I wish you guys. It's almost New Year, so I'm gonna wish you like a super happy, beautiful New Year. And I hope you enjoyed this and start using this idea. And it's very, you find it very effective. It might take some time to get used to, but to just remind you, the whole idea about is to keep your base until the end of a wipe, which probably is something you're not used to, but definitely a solo player. But believe me, this is normal for me to have like everything empty around me. I'm just looking at 1 or 2 big bases. I know there have been like dozens of bases in this area, and I'm the only one surviving. And yeah, just give it a try. And yeah, happy New Year. Bye bye.